Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Welcome back. And those of you that are new, welcome. I hate to do this to you, but we got to see what the opposition, a.k.a. progressive lunatics, are up to. It's always good to see what your political enemy is doing. I hate to do this, but this is from the Readout blog. Yeah, I know. Before we get into the story, I want to mention I've been picking up a lot of subscribers lately, and I very much appreciate your support. But the watch hours are actually going down. I'm up over 50% from a year ago in my channel. And the actual watch hours are going down. I don't buy it for a second. This channel is being stifled. Can't go into detail because this website won't allow it. But anyway, if you could share any of my links, watch as many videos as you can, make as many comments as you can. Comments also bring up videos, at least in part. And just help me out here and help us out, I should say, is better because these guys, we need to get the word out. Anyway, let's go to the Readout blog. Oh, gosh. Anybody that's Italian knows what this means. This gives me agita. Ugh. This is from Jahan Jones, who is also a Joy Reid blog writer. In an effort to woo women voters, Trump employs blatant racism. Oh, okay. Let's play this. Uh-oh. The fascists are at it again. The Republican Party and Trump. Notice now how when they criticize Trump, they criticize the Republican Party for not getting rid of Trump because they learned a lesson. You can't isolate and ignore 50 million people. Trump reshared a post showing dark-skinned people and telling women they can either vote for the GOP ticket or wait until one of these monsters goes after you or your daughter. Well, we didn't have a lot of this problem when Trump was president. And that's the thing. It's weird that Kamala Harris is not really an incumbent president, but Biden is so inept, she might have been part of the presidency, i.e., 4 or 5 people in the Oval Office or the West Wing, and her are basically ipso facto president. And look what's happening on the border. Look how many people have been unalived, as they say, because you can't use certain words on here because the algorithm will pick them up. So this is racism and fear-mongering. Oh, okay. Trump gave us another example Sunday when he reshared a social media post with footage of dark-skinned people walking in line. The accompanying text said, if you're a woman, you can either vote for Trump or wait until one of these monsters goes after you or your daughter. Well, that's why they don't show a lot of goes on crime-wise concerning unlawful migrants. Now, I'm not saying that they're all bad people, so I don't even go there for this website or any of you left-leaning idiots. Let's listen a little bit to, this is propaganda, folks.
Just 80 days from the November election and only 2 days from the Democratic National Convention in Chicago, where Vice President Kamala Harris will have her biggest platform yet to make her case to American voters. Her presidential campaign launched with rocket ship momentum less than a month ago, and a new poll indicates Harris is surging in the Sunbelt states.
He's taking joy in the fact that they got rid of Biden, who they lied for and said he was okay for 4 years. They also disenfranchised 14 million primary voters who voted in legitimate primaries, and Biden come out on top. You take joy in that? You take joy in screwing over 14 million people? And then you say Trump's the threat to democracy? How many votes did Kamala Harris get in the primary? And the answer is 0. How many delegates did she get in 2020 when she was running for president? 0.
A New York Times Siena poll released today shows Harris beating Donald Trump among likely voters in Arizona and North Carolina. Harris is also shrinking Trump's lead in Georgia and Nevada. The race is still very close. These results are within the margin of error, but they're exactly the boost Harris needs ahead of the Democratic convention next week. Meanwhile, Trump's campaign is sputtering. with the candidate admitting he's angry and rejecting advice to stick to the MAGA script. The former president addressed a rally in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania about an hour ago, bringing his usual incoherence and insults to the stage.
I am much better looking than her. I think I'm much better. Much better. I'm a better looking person than Kamala.
You know, this guy has no sense of humor. It's a rally. It's supposed to be fun. I'm much better looking. Yeah, that's what Trump does. He likes to joke around. He's like no other high office seeker in the United States. They're all like stuffed shirts. Have some fun. Yeah, I'm better looking than her. It's just a joke.
Child, please. I'm not normally one to advise Republicans, but I'd say Trump is long overdue for an intervention. Democratic President Biden is old and was hounded out of his race for re-election after one really bad debate. Republican Donald Trump is old and talking crazy and is still.
You want to compare Trump's mental state to Biden's? And then after you just admitted that Biden was pushed out. Kamala Harris never got any primary votes. It was a coup d'etat. And they're taking joy in the fact. They even mentioned it right up front. Yeah, so what? Who cares? All we care about is Trump isn't president. We don't care if we have to burn the Constitution, burn down cities. We don't care. As long as Trump isn't president. And they're afraid of him not because he's a nut. They're afraid of him because he's going to go after the people. He's going to go after the people that lied, broke the federal law. And there's hundreds and hundreds of them. And they should be afraid.
In the race. And ever since Vice President Kamala Harris became the top of the Democratic ticket, Trump's crazy has metastasized into full-on bonkers. Now, I'm no doctor, so I'm not clinically.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? Hello.
You got to be kidding me. Some of the crazy crap that Kamala Harris has come out with just in the last 6 months. Why do you think she won't have a press conference? She did have a press conference. Let me take that back. You know who got interviewed? By her VP selection. Tim Walz from Minnesota interviewed Kamala Harris, and Kamala Harris interviewed Tim Walz. There's your press conference. She's like a walking, talking robot. She can't speak on the cuff. She's just not smart enough.
Diagnosing him, I'm just believing what I see and hear. Trump had already been depicting America as a dystopian hellscape being run into the ground by sleepy Joe Biden and stalked by Hannibal Lecter. Trump promises to turn back time to when freedom was only enjoyed by straight, white, Christian, cisgender men.
Well, I'll tell you what, fool. I'm a straight white man, and I take offense at you be calling cis. Just like you have offense being called certain pronouns you don't want. But it's okay if you insult straight white people, especially men.
Not even surviving an assassination attempt has stopped him from using rallies and events erroneously billed as press conferences to spew racism, misogyny, and lies like an unplugged fire hydrant on a hot August day. But the enthusiasm for Harris, the great press, the ascendant poll numbers, the packed rallies in swing states with thousands fervently chanting, "We're not going back," has Trump lashing out at her like a...
We're not going back to what? Economic prosperity? People making more money than ever before? Gas prices at its lowest in several decades? We were gas and oil independent. We were energy independent. We would put Saudi Arabia, Venezuela, all of them to shame. We have the infrastructure to drill. That's the other thing. Kamala Harris is against fracking. And that's all. And I live just above the Pennsylvania line. I live like 10, 12 miles away. I live in upstate New York in Binghamton. They call it the Southern Tier. It's in the center of the New York-Pennsylvania border. We could have fracking up here, but they won't allow it. It'll bring in hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue, not even counting the high-paying jobs that it brings. And she said she didn't want fracking. And the people in Pennsylvania, a lot of people make a good living off of fracking. But the great press she's getting, what press? They're just another extension of the DNC. Where's her press conferences? If she has one, watch and see. She won't call on any of the reporters that don't like her.
Jim Crow era good old boy. He's challenged her blackness.
I didn't know.
Well, that's enough. I think you get the point. Jim Crow, these are the morons that want segregated black and white dormitories at colleges. Not even counting the war on women, with trans women competing in sports. And he's the lunatic? It's incredible to me. Here's a quick follow-up of sorts to a post from last week when I wrote about Donald Trump's campaign relying on racist and xenophobic claims that resemble campaign materials from the early 20th century. All they have is racism and sexism. That's all they have left to keep their base together. They've lost a lot of black males, but they've held on to a very high percent of black females. I don't understand. They even put out a truck that looks like a sandwich truck, a food truck outside the DNC convention from Planned Parenthood. They were giving out free abortions and vasectomies. It looks like a food truck. People are crazy. You're crazy. Trump's campaign is manically focused on anti-immigration fear-mongering. No, it's against illegal migration. My grandparents, my father's parents, were off the boat at times, as they say. They came legally. So did Trump's mother. She's from Scotland. They came here legally. Oh, God. So much like the Post, the message seems clear enough. No? In essence, oh, here we go, an interpretation. Women fear the dark-skinned people and not the old white men who want to yield power over your body and your daughters. The federal government did not outlaw abortion. That's what they're talking about. They won't use that word. It's a buzzword. And keep you in abusive marriages. Where the hell did that come from? Where are the Republican Party and Trump keeping you in abusive marriages? How is the law stopping you from leaving a marriage that's incredibly abusive? This is straight up from the birth of a nation style racism being promoted by the standard bearer of the Republican Party. They have to use this. They have nothing left. Their immigration policy is garbage. It's causing huge harm. Their economic policies are causing worse harm. And we can go on and on and on. Their energy policy is causing a lot of this inflation. The rest of the world is laughing at us. Unbelievable. The rank racism promoted in the Republican Party is remarkable. Yeah, okay. The Trump-Vance campaign, quite literally, is still lacking a coherent message to appeal to women. You know, how's that old Paul Newman movie? I forget the name of it, when the guy says, what we have here is failure to communicate. There's just some people you just can't reach. A message to women that they can't reach because they've been so brainwashed so badly since the 1960s. But they're coming around. The young men are coming around. Even the new generation just turned 18, women, I should say young ladies, they're starting to be aware of what's going on. Beware the immigrants. No, beware the unlawful immigrants. When my grandparents came over off the boat, they say, from Italy, there's no social welfare. They're tossing out in the big cities, Chicago, New York, L.A., they're tossing out seniors and veterans from housing projects, are taking them off a waiting list and putting in illegal migrants, giving them $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a month and a nice place to live in a first-class hotel. There's a picture in Chicago where these illegal migrants are staying in a hotel, a first-rate one, and you can see within sight of the hotel are all the homeless encampments. You tell me that's fair. Looking out for your own people first, no matter what color they are. How the hell is that racism? Oh, God. And lastly, thank God, I've become a bit torn in my belief about whether True Social is a boon for Trump or a boondoggle. Now, I wish Trump would do more on Twitter. I respect the fact that there's a True Social and he started it, and I hope they hang on because it's a tough hustle. Social media, very tough. But the thing of it is, though, he gets a lot more people on Twitter. I understand he's trying to improve the viewership on True Social. But I digress. On one hand, it seems like a huge waste of money being True Social, an embarrassing vanity project. On the other hand, Trump posts a lot of extreme content over there that goes largely unseen. So that's why he needs to go on Twitter. It's a lot bigger audience. So I'm going to do my best to be selective with you all, very selective, and share things he posts only when I can feel I can use them to make broader points. This whole article is from Jahan Jones, is the Readout blog writer. That's all I need to know. He's a futurist and multimedia producer focused on culture and politics. His previous projects include Black Hair Defined and the Black Obituary Project. Dun, dun, dun. What a crock of crap. A crock of crap. So how do these morons capture so many people? It's a mystery to me. MSNBC, CNN, all the rest, their ratings are going down and down. But they still, if you're a young person, say 2 generations ago or a generation ago, and you see crap like this, you're getting bombarded with it online and streaming news services like this over and over and over and over. This is very similar to the brainwashing that was done in Germany in the 1930s. Very similar. Very similar. Watch out, they're after you. Watch out, there's racists that want you. These cis white men are the real enemy. And blah, 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 blah. I can't. Kamala Harris, what other job has she had besides elected official? And now all of a sudden now she's the prosecutor, the attorney general from California who put murderers and rapists and worse in jail. I can't use some of the terms because they won't allow it on this website. She's the hero that saved women, even though she incarcerated almost 2,000 people for marijuana violations for possession. And then when asked at an interview in 2020 if she ever smoked marijuana, and she laughed. She said, yeah, listening to Snoop Dogg and other rappers. It's just amazing to me. This woman is, I don't understand why Biden picked her. Maybe because she's a woman and she's not white. Whether she's black or Indian, I really don't give a crap. It comes out the same to me. A person is a person. I don't care what color they are. But these guys do. And they call the Republicans the racists. It's incredible. Incredible. So we're going to have to see. So far, you know, it's a newlywed thing, so to speak, the honeymoon phase. We're going to have to see. Even CNN and similar reporters are going, we're really trying hard to get Kamala Harris to a press conference. No, you're not. No, I know what you don't care because you're not bitching enough. You're not saying on all your channels like this one and CNN and the rest. What the hell's wrong with Kamala Harris? We can't get a press conference from her. Less than 80-odd days till the election, and she has not done a press conference since she was anointed by Biden. That's the other thing. Everybody thinks Joe Biden is such a chump, and he is in a lot of ways. Why isn't he going after the Democrat Party? They threw him under the bus. And a lot of his personal friends, Pelosi, Schumer, Obama, and all the rest, are the ones that pushed him out with the help of Kamala Harris, who he picked and put in the spotlight to begin with. My personal opinion why he isn't going after them is because of his son, Hunter. He throws the Democrats under the bus. The DOJ, the monster he created to go after political opponents, will be turned on him. And make no mistake about it. I believe that's 100% true. So I don't know how you get through to people that see this every day for decades on end. I really and truly don't. I was a Democrat for many, many years. I left the party over 10 years ago to be a Republican. I was an elected official in upstate New York for 8 years as a Democrat, but I was an old school Democrat. I wasn't the back crap crazy Democrats they have now. And the baby boomers like myself, I'll be 68 in November, still vote Democrat because they think it's a Democrat when they were young. That party is gone completely. Maybe it might come back someday, but right now it's been overtaken by progressive nut bars that are batshit crazy. I don't know. It's going to be a lot closer than it should be, even with things that they don't like about Trump. You just have to go back to the old Ronald Reagan saying, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? And if the answer is no, then vote accordingly. What do you think? Leave some comments regarding how you think either way. Even if you don't agree with me, I'm interested to see what people that watch my videos, what their take is on this whole thing. And until the next time, God bless, goodbye, and good luck.